Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the speaking portion.
Thank you.
My name is Sotelin.
Hmm.
I'll be your interviewer for this part of the speaking test.
All right.
What is your full name?
My name is Joel Rain.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
The speaking test has three parts, and I will give you the instructions for each, and I'm going to record this for the marking purpose.
Okay.
So let's start with part one.
Hmm.
Are you happy to be the age you are now?
Well, I wish I could be younger, of course, but there's nothing that I can do, and maybe probably like being a middle age, quite okay. But I really wish I was younger.
When you were a child, did you think a lot about your future?
I did because I read a lot, and my parents they made sure that I read, and so I was a lot more mature than the same age, the kids the same age with me. So I thought a lot and featured a lot of my future. I could be like hero, or I could be like somebody important and stuff like that.
Do you think you have changed as you have got older?
I have, because when I was young, I wanted to be somebody adventurous, let's say an army officer or a police officer and stuff like that. Because I grew up reading about those superhero fighting the evils, and I wanted to be somebody who was in always in the battle with those evil person, but I have become a teacher. So I think probably I never thought myself, or I never featured myself to be a teacher when I was young. So it has been a really huge, unexpected change.
What will be different about your life in the future?
I guess probably I will still be a teacher because I love teaching, and I find it's a creative job. But I tend to reduce my workload as I grow older, and I will try to pursue my hobbies. For example, I love writing, so I could be probably a part-time writer, and I also love cooking, so I could be an amateur chef when I grow older.
Okay, now let's move on to part two, speaking.
Okay.
You will have to talk about the topic
Mm-hmm.
for 1 to 2 minutes.
All right.
You have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say,
Okay.
and you can make some notes to help you if you wish.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Okay, you can start.
Okay. Before I wasn't very much in love with the technologies because I used a laptop computer. I used a desktop computer at my table, but when the COVID forced classrooms to close down, then probably I had to work from home, and I started using my laptop computers, and that's where I have fallen in love with that. Probably starting in March, and my laptop is not really a famous brand. It's an Acer, but it has like an ample memory, and its speed is really fast because I make sure that the application that I installed are only useful ones, and I don't bother with the games and stuff. And I started what I found the most useful is some application that I installed in my computer. For example, the screen recorder. Well, with this, I can record myself. I can videotape myself without any crew or without any sophisticated recording devices. I guess probably the quality is not as good as the ones that I work with, a crew, or probably at a studio, but still it works well. And also it has other functions and applications such as the format factory, because I can convert the file from MP3 to MP4, MP4 to MP3, so within a very short period. And that device enables me to teach online, especially when I teach in Zoom, or when I upload the lessons in Facebook group or the Google Classrooms and stuff like that. So in the beginning it was a bit difficult because I wasn't used to it, but within a couple of days I have become quite proficient in that. And I'm still using that, and I intend to use it for, let's say, at least a couple more years.
Now let's move on to part 3, and let's discuss about the technology and education.
Okay.
What is the best age for children to start computer lessons?
I guess the younger the better, but I'm not really sure about their eyes. But their fingers will become stronger as they start using the computer keyboard and stuff like that. But I'm not really sure about their vision and their neurologies and stuff like that. I would say like about, let's say, 3, 4 would be an ideal age to start using a computer. But I would say like the parents, the guardian is going to have to limit their screen time for their eyesight and their neurology, which I am not really sure about.
Do you think that the schools should use more technology to help children learn?
I believe so, because in the 21st centuries, we have a lot more innovations, and those should be made use in the classroom, especially in the state high school, where the technology was very primitive. For example, like we should use the projectors, so that when they were taught like the sciences, and then probably like that laboratory experiments can be shown on the projectors. And also if you're teaching, for instance, like even Burmese language, about a poem about flowers, for example, like instead of those pictures in the textbook, you should really show the real flowers as images or as video files and stuff like that. I mean, the same goes with any lecture, like history, for example, geography or whatever.
Do you agree or disagree that computers will replace teachers one day?
I would say like, okay, teachers will find computers essential, but the computers themselves can never be a substitute for teachers, because computers needs programming, and the human programmer is going to have to program those computers, and without these, computers themselves cannot really function. And also there are a lot of what we call adaptations in the classroom. According to the levels of the students, or probably the situation, the teachers have to make a lot of last-minute changes which cannot be programmed. And I would say the computers are not really able to make such judgment with these things.
How much has technology improved how we communicate with each other?
Obviously, it's like the cell phone. It's like, when you have the cell phones, then probably it enables people to communicate. I mean, people have become increasingly accessible. Otherwise, like you have to rely on the landlines, and the landlines sometimes not really clear, and also like they're limited, so that you cannot directly have access to that person. You have to go through a telephone receptionist or operators and stuff like that. But now a lot of people carry cell phones, so that you have the direct contact and exposure. And also because of the internet connectivity, you can have the electronic conversations, and also like you can even see each other while talking. It's like Zoom or any other telecommuting functions.
Do you agree that there are still many more technological innovations need to be made?
I believe so. It's like I've seen like those interactive whiteboard a couple of years back, but I still haven't been able to use it, which means that my school hasn't bought it yet, or they're not widely available, or I'm not sure whether it's worth to invest or not. But I guess probably when these things become more of the commonplace objects or affordable, I guess they will occupied in classrooms, and the same goes with many other technologies which are widely implemented in the Western world, but which are not really found in our Oriental countries, especially in Myanmar and in rural areas.
Um, could you suggest some reasons why some people are deciding to reduce their use of technology?
I would say, for example, people who value their human interactions, like a family, for instance, like when the family has become isolated from each other. For example, father is busy with his cell phone, mother's busy with her cell phone, and children are busy with their electronic devices. So it's like the family literally live under the same roof, but their interactions are very much disturbed by these. So I guess probably the family might want to have their quality time without those electronic things. And also, like we've found people, friends, for example, having a good time sitting at a restaurant, but gluing to their own screen rather than giving attention to people sitting at the same table face to face. So under those circumstances, I guess probably technology should be kept aside for a while. And also when people are growing older, and they might want to downshift their workloads, and they might want to lead the simple lives, and that's when they would limit the use of the technologies.
Okay, so this is the end of part 3 for speaking test. So thank you very much for your time.
Right. Thank you.